Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros Week 9 NFL Prediction Show, brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposits all the way up to $1,000, and they're giving you rakebacks. They're giving you money back in case you're a loser. Put all your money on the Ravens this week, only to lose to Jameis Winston and the Browns. Like myself, Derek. What the fuck happened, dude? This is your team to win the Super Bowl here. Why couldn't they beat Jameis?
Well, I think it's just when you have a new quarterback come in, you give a team new life. And that's what happened. They just couldn't get it together, man. I don't understand. I was blown away. I was like, how are they winning this game? How? But they have the Browns have good players on that team. They have a really good offensive line. Like they have a solid offensive line. They have solid players all around them. And I think they overlooked them. I do. I think that they were like, oh, you can't do that as a championship football team.
And now they're not going to win the championship anymore, okay? Just say that, Derek. I want to hear it out of your mouth. They picked the Chiefs preseason, and now they're not going to win. Chiefs also got DeAndre Hopkins. They picked up a defensive tackle. It's over. It's the Chiefs, dude. 3 in a row, Derek. Just admit it.
It's not looking good for anybody else, but the Chiefs aren't really that battle-tested.
Well, who have they played this year?
The playoff time gets it. The hardest game they had was that first game against the Ravens.
That's not true. They played the Atlanta Falcons. I see that on the schedule. What?
No.
Very difficult team to face.
I mean, the Falcons are probably the best defense they played so far. The Ravens defense was
Ravens are great.
No. They're pretty. The Ravens defense is pretty good. They're not great. Bengals doesn't have a defense. Chargers are okay. 49ers, but they're all banged up, so they can't run the ball really. But the Chiefs are fine. Nobody's worried about them.
No, they're 8-0 here, and it's crazy. It doesn't even seem like they're trying. And Mahomes isn't having a great year.
No, he's not playing great.
Well, he's just a system quarterback. That's not.
I mean, he's not playing like an MVP level type of season, right? But they only beat Vegas by 7 by a touchdown. I mean, they should dog stomp. If they're your real championship team, you should dog stomp that team.
Mahomes has 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on the year. He's my quarterback in 2 of my 5 fantasy leagues. I'm losing both of those leagues badly because of Pat Mahomes. Meanwhile, every other kicker is outscoring him. I wish I could just start another kicker. But that's my own problem, all right? You know the rules on this show. We'll go over last week's hits and misses, and then we'll pick this week's hits because Daddy needs some fucking wins here. Last week was brutal, starting with the Thursday night game. My God, Derek. Vikings, -2.5. Got beat. What happened there?
The Rams just played lights out. They played lights out football, man. Their quarterback play was excellent. What's that? That receiver came back. What's his name?
Yeah, Nakua came back. Cooper Kupp came back. Both of them came back the same week. Both of them lit it up and had a great game.
Yeah.
Stafford had 4 touchdowns. It looked like a totally different team.
I mean, Darnold didn't play bad, but they just got out-coached, really.
What was his name?
Derposaurus. Yeah. He didn't play bad. They couldn't run the ball. Minnesota couldn't run the ball. Man, it just was an ugly game for them. But they're soft. That's what you expect, right? Yeah. But ultimately not being able to run the ball led to about what's that, a 7.5 minute disparity on time of possession. You can't give, no matter what else is going on with the Rams, you can't give Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp more time. That's a mistake, right? That's just a mistake, and that's what happened.
Face mask.
Yeah,
should have called it.
Exactly. Next up was Eagles at the Bengals. Look, Eagles throttled them. Derek, do you think the Bengals season is done? They're 3-5.
Yeah, I don't think they're making the playoffs.
I tell you what, though, I think Sirianni looked over into Baltimore and saw what they're doing over there, the way that they're using Lamar and on what downs and stuff like that, or maybe the OC from the Eagles did, and implemented it into their system, and it was very effective.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was 16-20.
He also had 3 rushing touchdowns in this game. It was very effective. The way that they partnered Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry together, and the way they use them and on what downs too.
Saquon Barkley.
No. I'm talking about Baltimore.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The way they've been doing it all year that's the most critical thing to their success this year. And Philly basically copied them this week, extending drives with third down runs instead of Hurts running whenever. Right, save it for when it matters. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You get that first down. Now you got a fresh set of downs. And obviously, the Eagles over the past, since Jalen Hurts has been on their team, they've been the best in the red zone at running the ball with the quarterback, right? Obviously, with the tush pushing on the shit. If that's what happened, if Sirianni and his team learned from what was going on just across the fucking way there, that's really smart, to be honest. And it's going to spell trouble. I think they'll start to dominate the NFC a little bit if that's the case, because they've got all the pieces.
Yeah, and they're now 5-2, and let's face it, the NFC's got what, 2 good teams? You got the Lions and the Eagles.
Well, we'll see. You know, the word on the street is that McCaffrey's going to be back in a couple weeks. But like some of their guys, I think Ayuk is out.
He's out for the year.
Debo is out. Well, he should be back.
Yeah,
he should be back sometime soon. But yeah, it's been a struggle for. See, I think San Francisco can still get back and be dominant. I just don't think right now. Obviously, that's not the case. So in the NFC, we're looking at Philly and probably the 49ers should everybody get healthy, and the Lions, and that's pretty much it. Like the Redskins are pretty good. The defense is not good enough to fucking be competitive at that level.
No, and then since you brought up the Lions here, Derek, it was 52-14. Look, I know they played the Titans, but it is rare somebody drops 50 in the NFL.
They just run the ball too. They just run the shit out of the ball. I loved it. It's old school football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it almost feels like everything's going back to old school football. I mean, there's not a ton of guys who are throwing for over 300 yards. I mean, Jameis is a different animal, obviously. Different type of crab walking on those legs. But, yeah, everybody else, I mean, you're looking at 230s, occasional 300 here and there. Yeah, it definitely seems like the teams that are able to run the ball well and control the clock are winning. And then, the Cardinals Dolphins that was up next, that was one where it's just like nothing matters there. Neither of these teams have a defense. Tua came back, but didn't really fucking matter. Kyler Murray ended up chucking it around a little bit there. Once he fucking realizes you have Marvin Harrison, the games that he's thrown to him, they win, and they get a gajillion points on the board. But the games they don't, they fucking lose. I don't know what the mystery is there. Dolphins are now 2-5. Would you continue to play Tua the rest of the year there, Derek?
If he wants to play, let him play. It's his choice. If he wants to die, let him die. If he wants to be mush brained, then let him be mush brained. I mean, he's still young, so he's not thinking like a grown up should be thinking. Like, he's not thinking about self-preservation. He's letting pride run the show. And that's going to come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, that's not great.
His body, his choice. But at least Tyreek Hill finally had some yards for me in fantasy this week. Jesus
I just think
Christ.
they need to, the NFL is a copycat league to some degree. Some stuff always works no matter what because it's just effective. Good line play is always going to be good no matter what. It's always going to factor in the game. But I hate that saying that defense wins championships because technically it's true, but you can't play. If you get extended beyond 65 plays on defense, usually you're fucked, right? Whether it's through penalties and having to play extra plays, or whether it's through you going 3 and out and the other team getting back on the field. Like if you look at some of those, any of these teams, by the way, but the great defensive teams throughout history, like the Iron Curtain, the fucking Steelers, they had Franco Harris running the ball for them. Even Derek's team, they had, Denver produced running back after running back for a long time, actually, starting in the mid-'90s. But I think you guys had C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman, some other guys throughout those years you were there. And if you don't have a solid 1,000+ yard rusher or a couple of guys like Chubb and fucking homeboy Hunt and then other people, whomever else goes through Cleveland these days, like if you don't have that, then your defense is going to suffer, right?
Who was the running back when you were there, Derek?
I had Noshawn Moreno, and then C.J. Anderson, Ronnie Hillman.
God damn.
Yeah. I think Anderson, the year, I think it was the year after you guys won the Super Bowl. Hillman and Anderson they combined for 1,500 yards or something like that. You can win with that. You got a great defense. You can run the ball. You can win.
Yeah. Next up was. Oh, God.
That Super Bowl season, those guys, that was what Peyton did. He controlled the clock. We didn't score a ton of points, but it was crazy because in 2013-14, the year we went and got beat by the Seahawks, Peyton was throwing 5 touchdowns a game. It felt. So we were like just tossing the ball everywhere, scoring points. So
yeah, he had 40 touchdowns that year, I think, 39 or 40.
Yeah, it was every game. It was like he was breaking a record. So yeah, you have to control the clock.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
You
off the field, and your defense stays rested. You create 3 and outs. It's a domino effect. It's going to keep getting worse and worse as a game.
Yeah, one of the biggest things on offense is converting on third down. One of the biggest things on defense is having a defensive closer to stop the other team from converting on third down. But if you're 4 or 5 series deep on a drive, man, it's a lot to expect from a dude that's 300 pounds running a fucking 4.5 40 to do that over and over again.
Yeah. Next up was Jets at the Patriots. Jets lost their 5th in a row. Aaron Rodgers just blew up an entire team for no reason. They're now 2-6. They're done for the year. What do you do with Aaron Rodgers now, Derek?
They have to. What's his contract next year? Because I don't know. I think you have to start over. You can't just get rid of Aaron Rodgers now. You did all this stuff, this work for him. You got to give him another year. He's got the head coach fired. He's got every receiver that he's asked for, and it's still not working. So you tell me, because to me, it's a mystery. It seems like he's a kind of a cancer in there.
Yeah, not just kind of. He is. I think the other part is I don't think he can get out of his own head that is still the greatest, because he doesn't look like it on a week-to-week basis here, and he's blaming everyone around him except himself. And, yeah, I think they're fucked. There's one more year left next year. How much money's on that contract, you know?
Dead cap will be $50 million.
Ooh.
So they can't cut him. They could, but to be honest, they probably should and just have a rookie quarterback play.
I don't know that there's one in the draft. Well,
no. Just like anybody. It doesn't fucking matter who it is. Like it doesn't help you in any way even though you have to pay him to keep him on if he's gonna not perform, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if you're getting your guy in and getting him reps and shit like that. Part of it is just getting cancer out, and that's what he is. Which is what I've been saying for years on the show.
Yeah. And it's coming true here. Sorry, Jets fans. Next up, this game was really fun to watch if you watched it at home. This was Falcons at the Buccaneers. Shit, man. It went back and forth pretty much the entire game. And then at the end, Baker threw a Hail Mary that was caught, but he was about 1-2 yards out of bounds. He actually overthrew the ball. But this was a blast of a game to watch. Falcons were able to pull it out and go to 5-3. A lot of people in Drinkin Bros Sports on the message boards are saying that they think it could be the Falcons against the Vikings for the NFC Championship. That's too big of a stretch for me.
Not the Vikings. Falcons, Lions, maybe.
You really think the Falcons?
Yeah, they could make it.
Ugh.
Like if this was a bump in the road, or just a good week for Philly, and they're not actually going to be able to replicate that, then yeah. I mean, again, San Francisco's still got to get healthy. That's not a given. And it's the type of injury that McCaffrey has is the kind that can get re-aggravated. And if he's with Ayuk out, Debo, his value goes down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the value of Debo is that he can do two things really, and he's good at both of them. Without Ayuk though, it's like now you've got to kind of make him choose one or the other because you got to fill holes in the fucking offense. This is the way it is. Yeah, the Falcons have a good defense. They have a path, and they have Bijan Robinson and Aljair, who are both good running backs, right?
And they split carries a lot.
Yeah, I think, just the offensive line play has actually been pretty decent for them as well, which is surprising because I don't think their offensive line is terribly good. But, yeah, they could make it.
We'll see, man.
I mean, they're going to win that division probably.
Yeah, and then the Packers. The Packers are quietly 6-2, and no one's really talking about them, surprisingly. How far do you think the Packers can go, Derek?
I think that the Lions, the Packers, I think Washington is going to make the playoffs. And I think that I think the Packers can make it to the NFC Championship game. I really do. I think they can make it there. They're good enough to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they got to stay healthy. Aaron Jones has been banged up. Now Jordan Love is a little banged up. I think Aaron
Jones is actually on the Vikings. They got Josh Jacobs.
Or Josh Jacobs, excuse me. Yeah, they've both been banged up. So let's see if they get. I mean, you got to keep them healthy, obviously. But yeah, the Packers are a talented young team, and they play whatever it's. You don't see a whole lot of flash or big names or anything like that. It's just Jordan Love and fucking Josh Jacobs over there for the most part. Even on deep, they don't like who's the Packers' best fucking edge rusher.
I can't even name a wide receiver on the Packers.
Yeah, I don't know any of those.
No, guys on it.
But they get the job done. You know what I mean? Jordan Love's a good player. Blah blah blah. I think everybody knows that now. And also, you got to look down. So we were talking about the AFC before. About the Colts specifically. Joe Flacco, Bob and I were talking about. Flacco's starting now.
Yep.
The Colts are probably going to go to the playoffs now, to be honest. They're 4-4 right now, but if you look down at the teams that have to leapfrog them to push them out of a playoff spot, it's like the Dolphins, Browns, Raiders, Jags, Patriots, and Jets. That's not happening.
No, right? It's not happening at all.
AFC is pretty weak, so that's going to happen. Now, if you look at where the Packers are right now, they're in the 5 slots. They're a little bit higher. But the teams that are trailing behind them, just outside of playoff contention, Buccaneers, 49ers, Seahawks, I mean, any of those teams can get hot and fucking, So I think the NFC is quite a bit more competitive at this point.
It'll be fun playoffs.
We didn't think that would be the case before the season started. Like, the Chiefs are doing really well. We expected that. Texans doing well. We expected that. Bills, we expected that. Ravens, we expected that. We did not expect the Steelers to be doing this well, or the Broncos to be doing this well, or even I would say even the Chargers to be 4-3 at this point is kind of a surprise, right? Considering, and then of course the Colts are 4-4. They've limped into 4-4, but now they got Flacco, which I think is going to make them better. That's a playoff team, so there's a lot less room for error on the NFC side, which is funny because I don't think the teams in the NFC are as good as the good teams in the AFC. But it's just going to be more difficult to make the playoffs over there.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking at the Green Bay receivers here. So Tucker Kraft, who's their tight end, led with 78 yards. Yeah, exactly. Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Reed, Christian Watson.
I know Jalen Reed. Watson's been there for a while.
He has, but
he's a slot receiver.
Yeah, he's never been great. Detonvian Wicks, whoever that is, Chris Brooks, Bo Melton. I don't know any of these fucking guys, and yet they're 6-2. Credit to Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs over there on that one. Next up was that Colts game, and Derek, I wanted to ask you about this. Have you ever seen a quarterback just say, you know what, I'm going to sit this play out because I'm tired?
Never. I've never seen a quarterback take a play off if it wasn't for like an actual, like an equipment malfunction or like he couldn't get up off the ground for, and the refs made him take a play off. Like, usually you have to force the quarterback. He doesn't take himself off. That is egregious and embarrassing, and he should be. I mean, I don't know. I know they demoted him, and they're like, oh, we're not giving up on him. But how can you put trust back in a guy that takes himself off the field? You're the quarterback. Everybody's looking at you. You're the leader of the team. You can't do that.
No, you can't do that. And I think they would have cut him if they didn't have a backup there for real. Because that to me is a fireable offense.
I would cut him.
So would I. But I don't think they have enough people there. And in case Flacco, due to his age, goes down, you're still going to have a body in there. Because I agree with you. I think they're a playoff team, and I don't think they could. But I bet you internally they probably had that discussion after he said, "I'm tired and I need a break," which is fucking wise.
Of all the things you could say, that is the only thing you can't.
Yep.
Just say I had to take a shit. Say anything.
Say anything. I've got AIDS. I need an AIDS test. Just give me an AIDS test.
My sickle cell was acting up.
Yeah, give me something here to figure this out. Next up is Saints at the Chargers. Like you said, Chargers are 4-3 here. Lad McConkey had 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure what world we're living in
Put some
anymore.
respect on his name.
God damn it, dude.
He played good football. He runs good routes. He catches the ball when it comes to him. He makes plays. He's a playmaker.
Yeah. It's just if you would have told me Lad McConkey would have had 100 yards and 2 TDs this week, it was definitely not on my bingo card here. But
by the way, the Chargers have lost 6 in a row now. That's not great.
Chargers?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Saints.
Oh, the Saints. Yeah.
Saints have lost 6 in a row.
Their season's done.
I know Carr has been out, but losing 6 in a row with Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams in your backfield, and then Olave and running around there catching passes, and Juwan Johnson.
Olave doesn't count because you can't catch a pass thrown by Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And who are they going to start this week? Didn't they bench him, and they're going to go with the third string guy?
Jake Haener.
Jake Haener, my boy.
Yeah, he's a fucking Fresno State guy.
Then he went to Washington, too.
Yeah, he might, to be honest, don't be surprised. Well, I mean, we'll get to this later, but don't be surprised if Jake Haener doesn't light it up this week.
Gross. I'm not doing that.
I know.
Bullshit.
I know.
And that happens a lot because whenever you don't have time to scheme against another quarterback, you don't have any film on it.
Yep.
So he might be in there, and he's been practicing and getting everybody amped up, and everybody is like getting behind him on the team. You're right. He could come in there and just light it up. Like, look at what James Winston.
Well, he's probably going to. He's playing the Panthers. The Saints are playing the Panthers this week.
Oh, yeah.
So he might throw for 800 yards, to be honest.
You never know here. Next up, you got Bills at the Seahawks. I didn't bet this game. This was a real big shocker to me because this is Bills -2.5 up there. Seahawks, god damn it. Like 1 week, they look great. The next week, they look like dog shit. What is with the inconsistency on this team, Derek?
I think that this is just a perfect example of how much better the AFC is. And that's all it is. It got out. When you see a game like something like that, they're getting out coached. First of all, definitely got out coached, and they have better players. The Bills have better players. They have a better quarterback who's still a loser, but at least he's a better quarterback.
Yeah. Well, the difference in this game. There's some people talking shit about Josh Allen and blah, blah, blah. He had a mediocre game, to be honest. James Cook is the difference. And the difference, you can see it. It isn't just about the yards that he gets. It's about converting on third down with the run game, right? Bills 8 for 15 rather, on third down. That's fucking really good.
Yeah.
And conversely, the Seahawks were 1 for 7. And you look down, they had 32 rushing yards in this game. The Bills' defense is pretty good, but they're not 32 rushing yards good when you have Kenneth Walker, the fucking third, on your team, frankly. So I don't know what happened here. He only ran the ball 9 times. I know they got down, but they were only down 14-3 at half. It wasn't like they were down by 20 points and had to chuck the ball. What you got? I don't know if Kenneth Walker the third is hurt or what's going on there, but they're not using him.
He's not hurt. Last week he had over 100 fucking yards.
Yeah, so I don't know what this is, but you could, if you look down into the crosstabs here, Buffalo Bills time of possession 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Versus 21-57 for the Seahawks. That's the run game. You can't. You will never win a game like that ever.
Nope.
No matter what else happens in the game, you can't win that game.
Line D. It's what's going on in the trenches. The offensive line controlled that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
Yeah, they sure did. And the Bills moved to 6-2, so they're well on their way to the playoffs here. Next up, the Broncos. Jesus Christ.
Let's go, donkeys.
We knew this one was going to happen.
Yeah, we
Panthers,
did,
man.
but it's still like, God, Bo Nix, 3 TD passes in this one against the Panthers. They're 5-3. All right. We're halfway to 10 wins here in our bet for the Let's Ride tattoo on my fucking ass or yours. Who do we got next? Thank God. Listen to this fucking schedule for the Broncos.
It's a tough little stretch here.
Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons.
When?
No. These are all losses. Raiders, Minshew, not a prayer. That's going to be 4 losses there. Browns, Jameis is there, guys. That's 5 losses in a row.
Flacco
and the Colts. Chargers at the Chargers. We all know that's a daunting place to play. Bengals, have fun. Chiefs. I don't know if the Broncos win another fucking game this year.
I think they maybe win. They lose 3 of those games.
So that would put it.
I mean, they're about to lose 3 in a row, brother. So
yeah,
they're not beating the Ravens, Chiefs, or who was the other one?
Falcons.
No, they're not winning any of those games.
Capable of beating all 3.
They might beat the Falcons. I didn't know. Ravens and Chiefs, no. But
Ravens, not a good week for them to play the Ravens because Ravens just lost the Browns. So they're going to be pissed.
Yeah,
and we might have 230 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare up them. So yeah, let's save the shit talking, guys, in the chat for later on because long road for the Broncos ahead. However, they are 5-3 right now. Next up, Chiefs 7-0, beat the Raiders. Didn't care. Same thing, same game every single time. They'll win by 1 score. They don't care about spreads. They don't care about anything. They care about winning towards the end, and that's it. Mahomes, a little bit of life, 262 and 2 TDs, but it just seems like this team doesn't care. They know they're going to win every single week, and it's a very, very odd team to watch, to be honest with you.
Well, how does it help to go through the whole season without having to run your 2-minute offense?
Well, they kind of do because they're always down to a 1-score game. So doesn't that help them in the playoffs, Derek? Like, if you're playing 1-score games every single fucking week, does that help your team? Because when you get to the playoffs, you're like, oh, cool, we're going to score, so there's no pressure.
Yeah, that's exactly how the approach that we took when we won a Super Bowl. Got to the playoffs, and it was, all right, if we hold them under, 12.5 to 15 points, we should win.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah, usually a great defense holds people under 16. You can hold them under 16, you're counting on your team to be able to score at least 3 touchdowns. And a good offense should be able to score,
well, look,
get 3 scores.
Some of it, I think, is coaching as well. I really do think it is. I think a great coach, the way Phil Jackson did back in the day, the way that Steve Kerr failed to during that run, the 73-win season for the Warriors, right? Some coaches are good at keeping dudes locked in when it matters, giving them the time. I mean, Phil Jackson's the best coach of any sport ever, in my opinion, just because of that, because you're dealing with personalities. And if Dennis Rodman needs to go to Vegas for a couple of days and miss a practice, it's like, all right, that sucks, but you fucking roast him a little bit and then put him back in there, and he has a great game, right? I mean, that's you're managing personalities is what you're doing as a head coach in any sport. It doesn't matter what sport it is. You're not like setting lineup in baseball, whatever. How long does that even take?
Yeah,
it's like 10 seconds. You're managing personalities, and that's why Bill Belichick has 31 career playoff wins. Andy Reid is at 26, right? And after this season, he's probably going to be around 20, somewhere between 29 and 30.
Yep.
And next year, he's probably going to break Belichick's all-time record. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time.
If he wins the Super Bowl, he would be at 29.
3, that's right.
29,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
depending on a bye, right?
No,
with the bye.
They're 7-0 now. They're going to get the bye. So it'll be 3 games they'll have to win. So if they win the Super Bowl this year, it'll be at 29. And sometime in the next 2 or 3 years, Andy Reid will be the all-time postseason leader in wins. And I think that's part of it. I think it's you can't win you can't win the division or the league or whatever in the first couple of weeks, but you can lose it, right? That's an old adage. You can also lose it by becoming complacent, and I worry about that all the time. Any of these teams that fucking kind of stroll into the playoffs, how often do they get crushed? Yeah. Even though they're way better than the on paper at least, right? I think Andy Reid and maybe even Mahomes himself do this on purpose.
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm trying to figure it out because I'm looking at it right now, and they're 7-0. They haven't beat anyone, more than 10 points. You're looking at first game, and then these aren't slouches. Ravens, 27-20. Bengals, 26-25. Falcons, 22-17. Chargers, 17-10. Saints, when they were healthy, 26-13. 49ers was the only double-digit win they've had, and that was 10 on the nuts, dude. It was 28-18, and then the Raiders, who fucking suck, it was 27-20. Like, it's wild to me.
We only got to win by 1. You know, you don't get extra points for winning by more.
You don't. It's just it's a very, very bizarre team to me because, again, like I know I've said this a million times on this show. It feels like the Warriors, where if they wanted to, they could probably put 60 on the board every fucking game. It just doesn't seem like they care.
Well, not you're talking. Yeah.
It just, they could win every game. I mean, they are winning every game, but they could do it in dominant fashion if they wanted to. The one year that the Warriors turned it up, they beat the record, and then ironically ended up losing the fucking championship that year. So very odd. Next up was the shit, dude. God damn, it was the Bears and Commanders, man. The Redskins down there. Did you watch that Hail Mary, Derek?
Yes, I did. I was watching it live, and I was like, oh, he might got his rib. I'm like, his ribs are hurt. I don't know if he could get the ball down there 70. And he gets out of the pocket a little bit, and I'm like, oh, he might get tackled. And then he just throws a bomb, and the defensive back who was taunting the fans tips the ball to the receiver. I jumped up at him. I almost down. I was losing.
What are you supposed to do if you're on the hands team or whatever the fuck they're calling that?
So we used to put sometimes we'd put receivers in there. So that would prevent. It would be our prevent team, our end to prevent them from like a crazy play happening. Tipping the ball up is the last thing you want. What you're taught to do is to reach up, if you can't like easily get to it, you don't go up and reach and tip. You try to get the ball and slow and throw it down like a volleyball player. Like you want to slow it down so that nobody can catch it. And he did exactly what you're not supposed to do is tip it. And I don't know, man, it's just incredible. Because even if he doesn't tip it, the ball, that guy he's not ready for that ball. He tips it and it falls right into the guy's hands. It was incredible.
Yeah. Another thing about that is, usually when you're setting up your prevent on a last second play like that, some coaches do this, some don't, but you might have 2 layers or just different responsibilities, and you don't know what your responsibility is going to be until the ball's in the air. But if you're able to get to the ball, then maybe you try to sling it down or even catch it or whatever the fuck. But if you're behind the play and you can't, then as soon as anybody makes contact with that ball, you just start tackling the other team because that's legal. That dude that fucking caught the ball after it got tipped in the air, somebody should have smeared his ass as soon as somebody made it's legal. Somebody throws a pass.
It is.
It tips off your hand. You can immediately tackle anybody else on the field.
But I've seen that play now probably 40 times this week, over and over and over again. Not only was he not prepared, the guy who tipped it, he was talking shit to the guy in the stands. There was another dude who was unprepared for it. Like I genuinely think watching that play over and over and over again, they didn't think he could throw it 70 yards in the fucking air like that.
Should have watched the tape because he can definitely throw it.
It's a mistake, man. And that was one of the greatest regular season plays I've ever seen. I went fucking nuts in the living room. Kids went nuts.
We're 8 games into the season now. Anybody that's underestimating Jordan or Jane Daniels still is making mistakes.
They're 6-2.
That's just not smart.
They're 6-2 right now.
This system quarterback, you mean?
Yeah, the guy that you hated.
And the perfect system over there at fucking Redskins. He's 72% completion percentage for Jane Daniels this year.
Which to me should be he should be in the MVP talks.
He kind of is. I don't think he'll put up the stats required, to be honest. Look, I mean, but it's the MVP is going to be Lamar Jackson.
But the rookie of the year is Jane Daniels.
He'll be rookie of the year, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy. I remember Delco on our draft night show, because you were here for this, Derek.
Yeah.
He said he was going to be the biggest bust in this draft.
Yeah, probably because Marcus Mariota currently throwing for 73% this year.
yeah. And his,
that's all clear.
He's got 12 attempts so far, and that's he's doing well. Goff is actually leading the league at 74. They're really doing it up there.
Yeah, Detroit looks for real, man.
And then Baker at 71.
Caleb should have got the win. We know it.
I ride for him. Yeah, the way he cried afterwards, it was so fun.
Wait, he cried?
It was this close.
Can you find that for me, Bob? I want to see Caleb Williams having a
They have his reaction on Twitter. You personally, when I saw it live, I was like, oh my God, of all people, Dan's going to love this. Because he was just like,
fake news.
Yeah, no, it was real news.
Caleb
Real nail polish.
You're telling me Caleb Williams, the Heisman
One last play.
would cry.
So they have his reaction real
Okay,
time there. Yeah,
there we
show
go.
it. Go ahead.
Well, they probably can't show this. But
No.
whatever.
No, don't show that
Yeah, don't
on
show
YouTube.
No, I will crop in on this.
All right. You can play the volume now. Look at
Of just his reaction. I don't know. Rob, you got rid of the audio.
He looks like a fucking 6-year-old, man. Those,
Come on, man.
Those first like 10 steps, he looks like a 6-year-old. Like, oh, fucking suck.
And he's talking shit to somebody on the field. I don't know what he was saying as this play was going on. And then, boom, this happens here. And he's watching the ball. He's watching the ball.
I understand having your hands
Touchdown.
team out there, but I swear to God, this is always what you get for only sending 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier with defensive closers. Fucking get your defensive ends or if they're linebacker, whomever your edge rushers are, get them on the quarterback in that play. There's no reason to fucking wait back and let them just like have all day and throw the ball. Why don't you do that?
Blitz, Bob. We talked about this at that Ohio State Oregon game. Like, just blitz every fucking. Like, I don't get it. You know.
By the way,
do that if you want to.
The Redskins defense is just okay. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're performing really well because they've got a great coach over there. Let's be real about that.
But they're 6-2.
Yeah, for sure. But Caleb Williams went 10 for 24 for 131 yards. That's who he is as a person. Not how he plays against the Panthers.
Right.
This is who he is in real life. Just to be clear, Delco, fuck you. Or I don't even know what you think about Caleb Williams actually, but still, fuck you.
I still think he's going to be just okay.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a
I did
bust.
too.
Like he's going to be fine.
I think we said this in the you and I did at the draft show. I was like, it's Jaden Daniels, and then everybody else is like,
See,
well, Caleb's got the talent. He just doesn't have it upstairs, and you can get by on talent against worse teams for sure.
you can buy on it in college.
I thought we were on the same fucking branch, Ross. I thought we said every quarterback was going to suck.
No, I love Jaden Daniels.
We got to play back the tape.
Go ahead.
I thought we both agreed that nobody in this draft was going to be good.
And a matter of fact, I hammered you because I was like, dude, he won the fucking Heisman Trophy. Like, he was awesome.
He was so ass at Arizona State.
I didn't. So I don't. But full disclosure, though, because you guys do the Outside the Top 25 show, I don't watch Arizona State. So like, I never saw him there. And I only got to see him at LSU, and that's the only Jaden Daniels that I knew. So I didn't have the perspective that you guys
also,
had.
I mean, RG3. He was an awesome rookie of the year.
He was, and then he blew out his knee.
Yeah.
Look, any injury happens though, and that's what it is. But nothing you can do. Speaking of, God,
they did him really dirty over there in Washington.
Yeah,
like he
should not have been in the game. That play where fucking RG3 fucked his leg up, he should not have been playing.
No.
But what are you gonna do?
And then ESPN fired him too, which is not great. I actually liked him as an announcer. He's got a funny Twitter too. Next up was the Cowboys at the 49ers. Look, 49ers still hanging in at 4-4 despite all their injuries there. Cowboys continue to suck dick, and this is just going to continue to happen for these guys. No hopes and dreams for them. They go down to Atlanta next week. That's what happens when you don't pick up any free agents in the offseason or do anything for your team. They don't have any fucking running backs.
Or even once the season started. Like the Jets got a fucking receiver. Who was it? The Bills got the Bills got Deontay Johnson yesterday.
They got Amari Cooper.
No, who was it?
The Bills got Amari Cooper.
Somebody got Deontay Johnson yesterday.
Deontay Johnson went to the Ravens.
That's right.
So it's like people are making moves.
And even the Chiefs made a move. It's
they got Hopkins. Everybody's made moves preseason and in season except for the Cowboys. I don't understand.
Well, I guess they did pick up Dalvin Cook.
No, he was on the practice squad. So they just elevated him from the practice squad, which shocked me because I was like, Jesus Christ, you've been on the practice squad for fucking 8 weeks and you're just bringing him up?
And he's 2 years removed from a fucking 1,200-yard season, too. It's not like he's 29, which is old for running back, but so is Zeke.
Zeke is 90 in Zeke years.
It's 29.
Yeah. Zeke was a fucking hardcore runner starter for a long time. Yeah. Like, he might be a Hall of Famer, maybe. Next up was Giants Steelers. Russell Wilson. He's the guy now there, Derek. Are you surprised? Because I sure the fuck am.
I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. But it just shows you, man, like any quarterback, like he's a decent quarterback. You put him in the right system, he's going to play well. And he has a great defense. They're playing so good on defense. TJ Watt and Highsmith are two of the best edge rushers. And I mean, like that combo right there is probably the best in the league.
I agree. And with a good defense, all you really need is a game manager, especially in a Mike Tomlin offense. So, shit, who knows, man? Maybe they can fake their way close to the AFC Championship.
Dude,
real.
They're not fake.
No, the Steelers can win the AFC.
Russ is dropping dimes right now.
I don't think they can beat the Ravens or the Chiefs.
They've got a much better defense than the Ravens. So if they don't turn the ball over, they can definitely beat them. The Chiefs, I don't know about that. The Chiefs' defense is fucking good.
What about you, Derek?
Their defense is better than their offense. The Chiefs' defense is way better than their offense right now.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Their defense is phenomenal. They're playing really good defense, especially up front.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll get to this week's picks, kids. We got some sponsors to put this shit wagon on the air. First and foremost is mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet with us or against Ross. I have been awful this weekend, and it has led into this week and the Yankees and everything else. Jesus Christ, man. It has been a rough one for me. Luckily, there's a rake back where if you lose, they're giving you more money back. Bob, tell the audience if you're a day one homie what they're doing for you there.
Yeah, if you've been betting a lot with MyBookie, then you're in the MyBookie Plus rewards program. And look, we all have bad weeks sometimes. And when you have one of those bad weeks, they'll toss you a little bit of money back. They'll say, hey, thanks for playing. Thanks for being a loyal customer. Here's a little rake back. Go play. Go have fun. Because we know you like to have some skin in the game, some juice on that Monday night game, whatever.
They gave Daddy $171 back this week, and it was bad.
So yeah, whatever. It's proportional to I think your losses and how frequently you play. So, but yeah, you'll get a little money back. And I always recommend taking that rake back and just doing the biggest fucking parlay you can find.
And I do it every week, kids. And we'll be doing it again this week.
That's not real money. So put it all on red.
The rake back.
Yeah.
The rake back.
Or whatever color.
Yeah.
Black, red, it doesn't fucking matter. Just put it on something.
That's what I tried to tell my wife. I was like, hey, so the rake back isn't real. She goes, yeah, but your deposit, like everything you've bet is. And I was
okay, well, you said but in that sentence, which means you're referring to something else.
Yes.
All right, so go the fuck away.
Yeah,
I'm busy. Daddy's busy right now.
Daddy is busy. Daddy is busy. He's going to be drunk on Saturday after Ohio State loses, I can tell you that much. Go to mybookie.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit up to $1,000. Next up, we got bioproteintech.com. Guys, here's why your hormones suck. Most guys are focused on testosterone, but that's not even half the puzzle. In order to absorb testosterone optimally, you have to have adequate growth hormone, more specifically, its end result growth factors. Unfortunately, growth hormone decreases every year after puberty, which may explain your poor performance in the gym or even excess body fat. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus gives you back those growth factors naturally, giving you the HGH-like results with 0 needles, 0 side effects, and 0 doctor visits, all at a fraction of the cost. So if you want to fix the way you perform, look, and feel, even in the bedroom, go to fucking bioproteintech.com or click the link in the audio description to learn more. Use the promo code DrinkinBros for $30 off your first order. It's super easy, man.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 9 months. Just a little vial pops underneath your tongue.
Little vial. And,
right before 9/9.
If you're doing all the right stuff, eating the right foods, maybe you're on TRT or whatever to make sure your testosterone levels are right, won't really matter if your free testosterone ratio isn't correct. 2 to 3%, 20% is what I recommend, actually. But you want a high ratio. And the IGF-1, human growth hormone or human growth factor, is... If it's fucked up, then it's basically it's cannibalizing all your testosterone.
Yep.
So it's not free to build muscle and shit like that. So just keep an eye on it. I mean, go get blood work if you need to. But we've talked about this ad nauseum now. With the plastics and the toxic exposure and the fucking TBIs and all that bullshit, or whatever you want to call it, the head injuries. Most of you out there need to fucking do something.
We sure do. So go to bioproteintech.com to learn more. And they got all the info you need over there. Next up is drinkinbrostickets.com. If you want tickets to any of these games, college, concerts, rodeos, fucking you name it, monster truck shows. I took my kid to a month. You went with me actually. Remember when we saw Gravedigger together?
Oh yeah.
That was wild.
I call him Gravedigger, actually.
Well, it's not a hard R.
No,
yeah, but the kids had fun. And anything you can think of, we got. Surprisingly, dude, I had to get tickets this weekend for a buddy of mine. The fucking Cowboys tickets to the Falcons game were expensive this weekend. I was shocked.
It's a big game.
Is it? Or is it just the Cowboys always travel and always spend money, man? Because the Falcons fans don't give a shit, I feel like. They'll care like later in the season. Atlanta's a transplant city, kind of like LA, where it's just like, all right, fans will get into it later, but not right now. I was surprised by that. But most of these tickets are pretty goddamn cheap. I mean, even this Thursday night game, Texans at Jets, $13. If you're in New York, it's gonna be $75 for Christ's sakes. Like, go to the Jets game, go get fucked up, see some football, have some fun with your family. Oh shit, it's Halloween. That's why. All right. Well, don't take your kids out trick or treating. Don't be loser parents, you fucking losers. Okay. But we got everything on there. DrinkinBrosTickets.com, $10 cheaper than StubHub. Last but not least, we got HardAFSeltzer.com. Brand new store locator is up right now. We're live in 12 states. Enter your city or zip, and it'll take you to the closest location nearest you. Buy a 12-pack and support us and support the show today. We also ship right to your house at HardAFSeltzer.com. If you're not in one of those states or one of the surrounding states, $40. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you 20% off. $40 for 24 cans plus shipping over there. Check us out. And reiterate your point earlier from Drinkin Bros. Yes, we did sign a 3-year deal with Penn State. That starts in March. And we got the merch on the drinkinbros.com store now. So Hard AF Seltzer will be all throughout the state of Pennsylvania next March in time for their spring game. And we have a 3-year deal with Penn State that gives us Penn State, Illinois, and Michigan right now. Starting to work our way through the Big Ten and hopefully the SEC. All right, let's get to Thursday night's game. This is going to be a close one, and the spread reflects it because of some injuries here. So this is Texans at the Jets. However, this is Jets -2. And if you're wondering why, there is a rash of injuries on the Texans here. So they lost Nico Collins for the year. They also on Sunday lost Stephon Diggs for the entire season. Yep. So he's out. So keep that in mind when you're betting this. Who do you got, Derek? Yeah, perfect.
I think the Jets are just so bad that Houston could still win.
Without two of their, god damn it, dude.
Next man up. Ross, next man up.
I know next man up. I've heard that before. It's never happened. I've never seen next man up, and that actually works out in real life. But everybody says it.
I disagree.
Ohio State's last national championship, you literally won with like your fucking 8th string quarterback.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say.
But Bob, I'm the only one on the planet will say that was a fucking miracle. Okay, you want a miracle? Go light a candle down at a church tonight. You'd have just as good of a shot than a 3rd string quarterback doing it, man. I typically don't believe in that. Is it going to happen occasionally? Yes. Is Jaden Daniels going to throw a miracle Hail Mary? Sure. But man, dude, this is a really tough game because of the injuries. Who are you taking here? -2 Jets.
I'm gonna take Houston.
Man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna bet it because I'm a junkie. But what about you?
Texans +2. Yeah, sure. Still got Joe Mixon, Tank Dell, Robert Woods is a veteran. They still got Dalton Schultz. The Jets suck.
I agree. And for me, like, this comes down to, have the Jets just given up on the season? Have you been on a 2-6 team, Derek, that just gives up?
Yeah. You never really give up, but it's just like, you're not playing for anything. It's playing for a paycheck. So like the heart's not there,
Yeah, and because the heart's not there, I'm gonna take the Texans here +2. Texans are, still fighting for shit, a potential bye, maybe. Look, I know the Chiefs are undefeated, but they've only got 2 losses. This would push them up to 7-2. Give me the Texans. Give me C.J. Stroud. I think the locker room is probably turned against Aaron Rodgers and says, "Fuck this guy."
There's no way that they're still on his side.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we got Cowboys at Falcons, which I mentioned earlier. This is what I was talking about ticket price wise. The last row in this stadium is $153. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like a fucking 85,000 seat stadium, dude, for the Falcons. That doesn't happen unless the Cowboys are in town. This is Falcons minus 2.5. Who you got, Derek?
Falcons.
I'll drop it down to 2.
Falcons are getting turnovers. And they're going to get turnovers against Dallas.
Yeah. I don't Dallas is not good. They haven't played good on defense. I don't know if is everybody back for Dallas? Let me look at their fucking depth chart really quickly.
Yeah, they don't have many injuries. It's just they just didn't do anything. They just didn't pick up anything.
No, they like Micah Parsons is questionable still. I think that D-Law is on the IR now. He's not just
he's out.
Yep.
Oh shit.
He's
Forgive
out.
me.
Micah Parsons is questionable. Kendricks maybe. Trayvon Diggs might not play because he got banged up a little bit in the last game and had a little confrontation and shit. Falcons. But I'll take it to 2. I don't want to fucking lose by half a point.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this Falcons minus 2.5. Cowboys seem to be cooked, man. And it's weird. I didn't know Tank was out for the year. So give me the Falcons minus 2.5.
I don't know if he's out for the year, but he's on the IR right now.
Well, it's fine. It's, as long as he's out for this game, that's all I give a shit about, gambling wise. So, give me the Falcons minus 2.5 at home there. And look, this is what I think all of us said during the pre-prediction show. Cousins would probably lead them to this, and then they'll probably lose in the first round. They're right on pace for this for sure.
They'll win 11 or 12 games.
Yep, and then they'll lose. Cousins will lose in the first week, and then that'll be that. Pretty much what we predicted before this season. Next up, Dolphins at the Bills. Bills minus 6. Who you got, Derek?
Got the Bills.
D'Anthony?
Man, that's a tough one. Because the Dolphins, when they were healthy, got blown out at home by the Bills. I don't see what's changed. I mean, that was the game where Tua threw 3 picks.
Well, he got that's the game he died in the third quarter.
But before he never looked good. Yeah. The whole game he sucked, and he was getting lit up. The Dolphins haven't done anything to shore up their fucking offensive line, and Tua can't move around as much as he could back then. So they're going to get crushed. I mean, I might take it down to 5.5, but I think 6 is fine. I think they're going to win by 8 or 9.
Look, it's a touchdown game. Minus 6 is fine. I'm taking the Bills in this one. No need to buy any points. But Tua's second week back. Maybe he starts slinging it around. Over unders.
It's in Buff in November. It's going to be cold and windy.
It'll be 58. It's not that bad.
Tua, if you remember from last year when we talked about it in the playoffs, now it's a different scenario because people were literally getting frostbite and dying of fentanyl overdoses at that Chiefs game.
Sure.
But Tua's record in games under like 75 degrees is abysmal.
Yeah. It sure is. He came from Samoa and by way of Hawaii, and then Alabama, and then Miami. So give me the Bills in this one, minus 6. Next up, Minshew and the Raiders at the Bengals. This is Bengals minus 7. Man, that spread is not great for that. I thought it would have been higher. Who you got, Derek?
We're talking. I don't think that the Bengals can beat the Raiders by a touchdown.
What do you think?
I don't think they did.
What do you think? So here's a game where I drop it down to 6.5.
Yeah, I think the Bengals win, but I think they win by a field goal.
Ooh, okay. So you're taking the Raiders plus the points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of Minshew. Understandable. He's a great quarterback. So
good God.
I get it. No, I get it. Hey, look, the Chiefs game was a 7-point game with Minshew. So he's a fighter, a warrior, and I understand that mentality for sure. D'Anthony, who you got?
He threw for 200 yards in that game.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. You're not touching this?
Nah.
I will, because I'm gross. Give me a half point. I'll take Cincy minus 6.5 here. Raiders are 2-6. Bengals could go to 4-5. They still have something to play for. They're on pace, Derek, to go to the playoffs. They could do it.
They're 0-4 at home.
Yeah, well, there's going to be 1-4 at home now. So if you believe in life after love, then boom, this is what you're going after here.
They're going to win. I do think they're going to win this game. I think the Bengals are going to win the game, but I think it's going to be a 14-10 game or a 21-14 game, something like that.
No, and I get it. Look, Minshew is there, and yes, I'm not putting enough importance on that. However, I just think there'll be a touchdown late. Burrow will win, and it'll be 6.5, and I'll win by a hook there, a half a point. Next up, we got Chargers at the Browns. This was a game that I never would have said I would have given a shit about before the season started, but I would actually tune into this one just to see Jameis Winston and if he could repeat the performance from last week. This is Chargers -2. Who you got, Derek?
I'm Cleveland. I think they got new life.
Wow, dude, he's got Cleveland. Who do you got?
Not Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I could see it. I'll probably bet Chargers because better coach, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Yeah.
But they got a better coach. They got better quarterback for sure. But he's right. There's something about breathing new life into a team, especially a team that is as strong defensively as the Browns are. The problem is with Winston is it's only a matter of time before he starts throwing picks. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And he might throw 3 touchdowns in that game, but he's throwing 2 or 3 picks as well if you leave it up to him. And it's a good thing they got Chubb. He never had a running back like Chubb anywhere he's been before, to be honest. So fair enough there. But the Chargers are better.
Give me the Browns. I'll take the Browns as well. Harbaugh is not coming back to Ohio to win again without Connor Stallions on that staff. Give me the Browns. Give me crab legs. It's going to be a fucking seafood delight up there in Cleveland this weekend. Eating W's, dude. Let's go. Next up, we got Patriots at the Titans.
Oh my
This is the worst game maybe ever put together in the history of the NFL. Derek, do you even bet this? Do you watch this? What do you do here?
I wouldn't even bet it. I'm not going to watch it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Same. It's Tennessee -3.5. If you're betting on this, either you're a fan of one of these two teams or you've gotten yourself into some gambling problems that you're working your way out of. And for that, I think you'd actually just go to your local church and find God.
Well, Bob might be betting it because his bull, he's getting health insurance now.
Yeah.
So that's like $2,000 a month.
Yeah, health insurance is very expensive.
It's smart. I mean, it's first off, like, who's really the cuck? Like, he works for me. I had to make him an employee. He works for me. He's in a lot of ways, he's my cuck. Like, yes, I'm paying him and giving him health insurance, but like I think I control him really.
Mm-hmm. You do.
And that's what it's all about is control at the end of the day.
Mentally and physically there.
He's an idiot.
Don't go anywhere near this game.
No.
Just like Bob shouldn't have a bowl.
I won't watch it. I don't have one of these players in fantasy on either of the teams. Like, I think Pollard's on my bench. Like, no, I will not see this game. We'll talk about it next week. And unless a bomb goes off in the stadium or something, or there's somebody streaks the field, I don't know that I'll say 2 words about this for the rest of my life. Next up, Redskins at the Giants. Fuck you, dude. Really? Redskins -3.5. That's the first thing. That's the first fuck you. The second fuck you is the Redskins are actually going to go 7-2 this year.
That's right.
To start the year.
The Redskins, by the way, 6-1-1 against the spread this year.
Fuck.
So -3.5. Yes, I will. Thank you very much.
I will take this down a half a point and go to 3 just in case there's a push. Derek, who you got?
Redskins. They're going to win this game. I think Jaden Daniels is going to go off. He's going to be fully healthy too. He didn't get really banged up or anything in that Chicago game. His rib is going to be fully healed. And he's going to go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look.
It should be. They said there's no structural damage, so it should, after 2 weeks, essentially, it should be pretty fucking good.
And the other thing is the Redskins need this game very, very badly. That's why I'm going to put a lot of money on this game. And you might say, why? It's 7-2. Why do you need this game? After this is when shit hits the fucking fan. They got Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, who knows, right? Titans, shitty game, Saints, but then Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys to close it out. Like, it's not the easiest schedule in the world in the back half. So, fuck, man. I think jacking your team up to 7-2 will put you in the best position there.
Yeah, because they'll beat, regardless of what happens, Steelers and Eagles-wise, they'll probably beat the Cowboys, especially at home.
Well, they'll go 1-1. But it's a rivalry.
Yeah, yeah.
They play
so they'll win one of those Cowboys games, and they'll beat the Titans and the Saints. That puts them at 10 wins.
Yeah.
If they win this game. So, I mean, that's a playoff team. So.
I agree, man. I agree. Next up, we got Saints at the Panthers. Holy shit. I didn't think it was going to get worse than the fucking Patriots-Titans game. I apologize to the audience.
Do we know who's the quarterback for the Saints? It's that dude?
Is it that dude? Is it the guy that you like, Delco? What's his fucking name? Train him? Torkingham? Heidelberg?
Hayner.
Jake Hayner.
Jake Hayner, yeah.
Jake Hayner. Where did he go to school?
Fresno is where he made his, his big bucks,
Yeah, they give him a Dwayne Wade statue there?
And it will be a Fresno State quarterback starting for the Saints. However, it will be Derek Carr.
Oh, is he starting?
Shit, is he back?
Yeah, he's expected to be back and to start on Sunday for the Saints against the Panthers.
Oh, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I think the Saints will score easily on the Panthers. So 7.5. I don't know. I'm still not going to bet that because I don't want to have to pay attention to this.
No, me
but
neither.
if you're a fan of one of these two teams, or if you just if you don't care about your life or whatever, then the Saints it'll be 7.5.
Now that I know the Cards playing, I'll pop in a teaser and take this. I'll take the Saints and I'll drop it down to 0.5 point. Who you got, Derek?
Saints for sure. Derek Carr, kidding me? Carolina's so bad.
I agree. And if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and want to go to the game, $20, man. We'll get you into the stadium there on DrinkinBrosTickets.com for real.
And that's front row, probably.
It is very close. Now, you might be able to call a play. They'll let you call one play.
No, $20 gets you in right now, but day of, you could probably just show a testicle to a ticket taker, and they'll be like, all right.
Have a wife pop out a tit, and you'll be right there on the 40.
Which testicle would you recommend?
Right one. You got to go with the right one, more veins. And that's just science there.
See, I'm more about mane than vein, and I think that I have a stronger pube presence on the left testicle.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that many pubes, so I don't have that much. I don't have any hair in my body, actually, so it's tough for me. I got to go vein on my one because I don't have the mane down there. Next up is the world beaters. Oh, the Denver Broncos at the Ravens. They're so good that this spread is -9 for Baltimore. Who you got, Derek?
Listen, Denver I think they're number 2 in sacks right now on defense, and they're number 1 in sacks allowed. So they don't allow any sacks. These guys are playing really good football up front. I think this is going to be a more competitive game than you think. I think Denver's going to win it.
Wait, I'm sorry. You think they're going to win?
Yeah. You have to stop Derrick Henry. Look, he's pissed. They're going to stop the run.
If the Ravens win this game, there is a good shot that I'll be dangling from a fucking belt in the ceiling, dude.
Broncos.
Who did I say?
Ravens.
Oh, sorry. If the Broncos win this game.
Listen, the Broncos, if they hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards,
I'll tell you what. If the Broncos win this game, I'll get the first half of the tattoo. I'll get let's. Okay? And then ride at the end when they get 10 wins. Because if they do this, something has happened to me, and I lost my mind before the season started or during it. Like, I still can't believe they're winning every week. I'll get the word let's. I'll start it. And then I can change it to party later on. Let's party or something fun and flirty. But, man, not a prayer. This will be, the Ravens last week were in all my teasers and all this other shit. This will be in the teaser card across the board here. And this will go down to 3, and I got the Ravens. Dan, who you got?
I'm not giving anybody 9 points.
Me neither.
NFL. No. Fuck that. And I will see if I do a teaser. This will be in it for sure.
Yes,
it'll be Baltimore -3, but otherwise, if I don't do a teaser, I'm not fucking getting involved in this nonsense.
I'll have this tattoo artist on standby. This would be nuts to me. I mean, I'm fucking nuts. I'd be living in a goddamn upside down world. All right, next up is Jaguars at the Eagles. This is Philly -7.5. Derek, who you got?
Philly.
D'Anthony?
7.5 is too much for the NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't. It costs too much to buy a full point now, so I probably won't bet this. But I will watch this game. The other game that time is the Bears and Cardinals, and fuck that. Although the Lions and Packers play at the late 4 o'clock game, the 4:30 game or whatever, so that's going to be a great game.
Yeah. But
I'll watch the first half of this Jags-Eagles game just because I want to see if the Eagles actually have, from a coaching standpoint, figured it out.
Yep.
And then I can start adjusting my bets down the line, because if they have figured it out, that's going to be a very good fucking team.
They're a great team.
And they've gotten so
talent-wise.
I mean, just fortunate to win some of these games that they're at 5-2 now, and they're just getting it together. Like that's a dangerous team right there.
Yeah, so for me, I'll take this down a half just in case it's a push, but I'll take the Eagles. I think they're on a roll. I think they have figured it out, and the Jaguars have not. Lawrence could be a fucking bust, man. But again, playing in Jacksonville, nobody knows and nobody's talking about it. It's strange.
You think it's because he's white?
Because he's a white man? No. There's a lot of white quarterbacks I've hated over the years. But I just think, I really do believe that it's because it is an invisible franchise that we've never accepted into our hearts and minds that actually exists. And then the last, 2 years, they've played 2 games in London. So they're on at like 8 in the morning, and it's like, all right, well, they're in London. We don't really know. Like, it feels like a team that's an XFL team that just kind of snuck in, and then they're there, and I'm surprised to read their names every week. So nobody really cares or expects much out of them.
It's minor league.
Serious.
It's minor league football.
It's what it feels like.
It's like the Cardinals. I don't think about them.
And reverse
ever.
it, like Caleb Williams in this next game here is Bears at Cardinals, where it's like, Bears fans are everywhere. They're all throughout the country. And even though they're shitty every single year, they still believe. And they are like, oh, my God, this is our year. We're going to do it. They were really excited about Caleb Williams, who's just no different than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Just a different iteration of him. And but they still have this crazy belief. We still talk about the fucking Bears. We still talk about Caleb Williams. And, we just do not talk about the Jaguars ever in a serious manner.
We shouldn't.
I know. And it's
not unless Mark Brunell's coming out of fucking retirement, because that's the last time they were good.
And I don't think it's race or anything else in this case. Some other cases, sure, but in this one with the Jaguars, I truly believe it's just in a weird city that we've just never accepted in the NFL as a franchise. It's very bizarre.
They need to just move to London.
Well, I don't want to do that because then, everybody's got to travel, and that's going to fuck up everybody else's schedules and everything else. However, I would love to see him in like Austin, for example. We don't have a pro team here. That would be great.
Jerry Jones is never going to allow that.
I know. San Antonio? San Antonio's a big city, dude.
Nope.
Either way, we got Bears Cardinals next. This is Cardinals -1. Over-under is -44.5. I think I take the over in this one just because I think they'll chuck the ball around a lot. Who you got, Derek?
I'm taking the Cardinals for sure. Because I think Caleb Williams is absolute trash. He acts like the camera's always on him. He's not doing shit. Why are they putting the camera on this guy? Like he's a below average quarterback. And it makes me fucking crazy how they just keep hyping him up. And it's going to be the same thing they did. They do the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. They hype him up, make it seem like he's great. He's not.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because Kyler Murray, man, it's just what are you going to get out of this guy? I don't really know. Again, all the games he's thrown to Marvin Harrison, they win. The games they don't, they fucking lose. It's a weird fucking team to me because they have a good running back. They have good wide receivers. Just chuck the fucking ball and do it. But there's games where he seems like he's just completely checked out and doesn't want to be there. And then there's games where he's locked in like last week where he really cared about winning. He's just, I can't put my fucking finger on this guy other than he's a midget. But this game is too tough to bet for me. I'll take the over, but I'm not going to bet the -1. Who are you taking?
I'll take Arizona -1. They've been playing pretty hard-nosed lately, and the Dolphins, as we know, are soft.
Bears?
Or the Bears, rather. We know they're soft. I think the Cardinals played the Dolphins really well. They played the Jets really well. You know what I mean? Like, defensively, they played them really well, shockingly. And then they played, a beaten-up 49ers team. But they've been winning close games. They got knocked around by a healthy Green Bay team, which you should expect, right? But when they're playing these mid-level teams, they've been handling business the last fucking 4 or 5 weeks. So, yeah, the Bears, they'll win. Yeah. I mean, -1's a pick 'em, so fuck yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Next up is the game of the week, in my opinion. And look, guys, this is Lions-Packers. Really fucking amped about this game. This is Lions -3.5 at Green Bay. Derek, who you got?
I'm taking Detroit.
D'Anthony?
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Packers, it's such a weird franchise, the Packers. Aaron Rodgers owns everybody in the NFC North. I get it, but I think some of that is just the Packers. That's what I think. There's something about it, especially at Lambeau. No, I'm not. I think the Lions lose. I think they're going to lose the game.
I think it's going to be a 3-point game. Either way, on either side. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Packers plus the 3.5 at home because I think this is a field goal game against two of the three best teams in the NFC right now.
Either way, it's going to be a good game because over-under's 48.5. I think that's low. I think they're going to score. I think it's going to be high 20s to low 30s for both teams. Yep. This will be a fun game to watch. What'd you say?
It's all going to come down to Green Bay being able to stop the run. That's it. If they can't stop the run, it's going to be Detroit's going to walk away.
I mean, good fucking luck.
I know. Gibbs and Montgomery have been really fucking good.
They're both on my fantasy team.
Are they really? Yeah. God, I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs so bad. He's so good. He could start and be the guy on any team in the fucking league, dude, except for this one.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of fucking talent and firepower there. I think it's a field goal game, and it's that half a point that got me. So I'll take the Packers, but I think the Lions will probably win by a field goal. So it's a great game, and I'm amped because the rest of these games are kind of shitty, to be honest with you. Although the next one, look, this isn't terrible. Rams at Seahawks, and it's because you got Nakua back. You also got Cooper Kupp back. We don't know which Seattle team shows up from week to week. And then Vegas has actually got them favored in this one. This is fucking Rams minus 1.5. What do you do here, Derek?
I bet the Rams. They're playing good. They're playing good football. They played really good last week, and they have momentum going forward. And Seattle played like shit. So
Stafford's excited too. He's bouncing around on the sidelines and shit. They get your whole team pumped up. I think Rams by a fucking touchdown in this game.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Rams as well in this one. Geno Smith, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year. I don't know how with those receivers. It's a strange team up there that I can't figure out. But I can figure out Stafford. Stafford wants to show up and play every fucking week, no matter what. So, yeah, give me the Rams in this one, minus 1.5.
Yeah, he's a tough motherfucker, that guy.
He is.
I don't know anybody. Like, a lot of dudes have played with a lot of crazy injuries. Ronnie Lott got his fucking pinky amputated so he didn't have to miss a game. You know what I mean? Like, there's some wild assholes, including Derek, who have endured crazy injuries throughout a season. I don't know if I've ever heard of a quarterback playing a season with a broken fucking vertebra before. Yeah, that's a pretty wild thing to do, to be honest. So you can never question his commitment. Whereas the next guy, the Colts and Vikings, Anthony Richardson, that dude has. I don't know that you can ever regain a team's trust again after pulling that bullshit.
Me neither. I don't either, man. And look,
that's like cheating on your spouse. Like, you don't give up.
Right. And Derek, this is minus 5.5 for Minnesota. It's well documented of what I think of Durr and Skull and all that other bullshit. But when a team makes a change like the Colts and says, all right, that guy fucking sat out and he was lazy and he lets you guys down, and you got a guy like Flacco that wants to play until he fucking dies.
Everybody loves Flacco too.
Right. So does this spark the team and they go on a fucking run for the Colts?
Yeah, it does. And I think they go into Minnesota. Because Minnesota's getting exposed for the fucking phonies they are.
Yeah.
That's harsh language, Derek, but I agree. I'm taking Colts money line.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking.
I'm taking the Colts as well, man. And I think this weird spark from Flacco does it. I genuinely believe it. It's not my hatred for Durr either, but it's just a gut pick on this one. I'm not going to go money line. I'm going to take the 5.5 just to be safe.
Here's the other thing they set a precedence in that building, right? That if you are going to give up, you're not going to play. If you're going to take plays off, you're done. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's going to make everybody else, they're going to be like, oh shit, they're going to tighten up a little bit and they're going to play their ass off.
I agree, man. And this will actually be a fun game to watch. I was not expecting to like this game, but I am now, just because of the circumstances of what happened at quarterback there. Last but not least, this Monday night game's a banger. For the life of me, though, I cannot figure out this spread. This is Chiefs minus 9. I just ran through the Chiefs' scores the entire year. Yes, they're 7-0. They've only won one game by double digits, 10 points. That is it the entire year. How do you give Baker 9 points is what I don't understand. Who you got in this one, Derek?
It's the reason why they're doing that is because Kansas City's playing so good on defense, and I don't think that the Bucks have a really good. Their defense just isn't great. They just give up too many points. So that's where I think that 9 points is coming. So I will take the Chiefs because I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Chiefs. They also beat the Saints 26-13, so they have 2 games of 10 or more points.
Okay. Well, at 10 on the dot, right?
Yeah, 10 and then 13, yeah.
Was it 26-13?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Do you remember, or do you have any sense of what their record against the spread is this year? Because it's been close, a lot of close games.
No, I don't.
For the Chiefs.
What's their ATS?
5-2.
Really? That's actually very surprising.
Which is, we talked about this with UCF yesterday, about Vegas is just like sometimes they've got a beat on a team and sometimes they don't. The Chiefs are not playing in any way like we expected. But 5 out of the 7 times they've played, Vegas has predicted it correctly. So I'm going to go with Vegas on this and say -9.
They are also
Really?
12-6-2 in their last 20 games against the spread. Because it's pretty much the same team as last year in terms of style.
Oh, yeah.
And substance.
Look, it's been identical for 3 years at this point. Until the Tyreek Hill year, Bob, I think it's been the same fucking team, and they're just kind of inserting people.
Ever since they traded Tyreek Hill or let Tyreek Hill walk or whatever, yeah, it's been this has been that version of the Chiefs.
I agree, man. 9, though, for me is too much. Baker's got heart, dude. I've flipped the switch on Baker, and give me Bucks +9.
It's not because of Baker. It won't be. They won't lose. They probably won't lose this game because of Baker. I think he'll have a decent game. He's probably going to get sacked a couple times, and we'll see what who's it? Rashad White is their running back. We'll see what he can do. But this defense is fucking good, man. And I don't know. I don't know.
Just 9 is a lot in the NFL. What were you going to say, Derek?
Listen, I said this, a couple weeks ago. November is when the real football starts. November in the NFL, when November hits, there's a different. It's like a different. You amp it up a little bit because now it's like, okay, we got to fucking really start kicking ass. And I know that the Chiefs are undefeated, but you're going to start seeing them open up their playbook even more. You're going to see them start doing things a little bit different. They're going to score more points. They're going to open that offense up, and their defense is they're so fucking good, dude. I'm telling you, they will hold Tampa to 14 points, something like that, 17 points, something like that, and they're going to score. I think they're going to score 25, 27 points.
But Baker,
because the Bucks have a shitty defense.
They do, but Baker's a Trump guy. It's the night before the election, and I think he'll cover. I think he'll cover for Papa Trump. So is Harrison Butker, and Mahomes. But give me. I'm taking the 9 points. It's just a lot of points. That's all.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're gonna cover.
Look, I've been a loser most of the year in the NFL, Derek. So it wouldn't shock me. Okay, I'm not gonna go crazy for this one.
I was bold enough to say I'd cover the bet if you lost, because I really do think they're going to make it. I think they're going to win by. I think they're going big. They're going to make a Sunday night game. They have a little bit extra rest. Oh, they're going to go crazy. It's in Kansas City. Anybody got the weather? What's the weather look like?
58 degrees.
Perfect football weather.
Also, don't forget the Bucks are missing their top 2 receivers.
Yeah,
Godwin's out for the year. Evans is out with a hamstring. They were still competitive last week against the Falcons, man. And look, they could have won. The guy was out of bounds on the Hail Mary. He caught it, but give me the 9. Look, I've been wrong. This is for the audience. I've been wrong most of the year in the NFL, so bet against me on this one. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna keep firing away. Okay, I don't care. I've got love in my heart. And that's what's going to carry me through this week. Derek, quick prediction on the election here. Who you got?
The Trumpster. Yeah. Daddy Trump.
Papa Trump. Hopefully he wins that night. We'll be super hungover for the Wednesday show, and we can have a party. And then I won't care if I lost any of these bets the next day. What are the final odds here on Trump and Kamala on my bookie? Just out of curiosity. And when I say final odds, by the way, I mean today, because this is the end of our sports show this week for you and I. And my bookie has asked me to chat about the political bets here. I guess it has been a record year for bets in politics.
It is Donald Trump minus 210, Kamala Harris plus 170.
Holy shit. That's the highest it's been the entire year. Minus Biden, obviously.
What about Jimmy Carter? How's he looking?
Fucking great, dude.
Some value
Fucking
on Jimmy. Yeah.
He's got 4 years left.
I was thinking about writing him in.
Yeah, somebody did. One of our listeners did, by the way. I'm not kidding. One of our listeners wrote him in and fucking sent it to me, and I was like, God damn it, dude. Why waste a vote like this?
It depends.
But I did laugh.
If you're like in fucking Alabama or Mississippi, it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or Texas.
Or Florida. Texas, yeah.
I'm looking at...
What about a parlay of Trump to win, but Kamala to win the popular vote?
I think Trump might win the popular vote.
Yeah. I don't see it.
I think that is going to be the case. That's like the fucking people I know that work in Democratic politics have been. That's the word on the street is that they're
They just don't want to lose that. That's what I've heard on the inside.
Yeah, they're like really worried they're going to get embarrassed. Which I don't think it's that embarrassing. Just lay it all off on Kamala and move on. It's not that big a deal.
As of right now, 4:53, Wednesday, October 30th, 58 million people have already voted already. I mean, that's fucking wild, dude.
It's a third
of the usual vote, right? So, yeah, here we are. Derek, who's on your podcast on Wolf Untamed this week?
So I want to talk about the one on Monday that I'm dropping. It's with Kash Patel. He was the chief of staff for
we've had Kash
Secretary.
On.
Yeah, so you know Kash, he's awesome, right? So it's just a really good episode, and we're going to drop that on Monday. And so just go check that out. And then the one we dropped this week was Corey Jacobson. He's probably like the Tom Brady of elk hunting, I would say.
Yeah, 90% success rate. So for a random person going out to hunt elk under the best circumstances, you got about a 10% chance of getting one. His rate is 90%. If you don't know who the guy is, now you should fucking look him up. Well, if you're into that sort of thing.
If he's the Tom Brady, then are you the Spencer Rattler? Because you didn't get one this season, you said.
Last 2 years, I got a skunk.
Right, Derek, but it's kind of a what have you done for me lately type of sitch here, and you didn't get one. So what would you say, Spencer Rattler or more of a Richardson? Were you tired? Did you just kind of give up on that?
Never gave up.
Okay, never give up.
Yeah, you also did Chuck's show. It's not really a show so much; it's just a conversation, I guess. But you did that, right?
I did Chuck Liddell's show. It's it's pretty cool because we just sit here and watch these crazy knockouts and talk about them.
Yeah.
And did my show as well, but we haven't dropped that one yet. But it's a really good one. He has great stories from early days of the UFC.
Yeah, Chuck's the man.
Oh, we love Chuck, dude. He's one of our beef fries in real life. I wonder if he's going to that Tyson fight.
He'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'll text him and find out, but I'm almost positive he's going.
Man, my kid is literally asked every day, but for Jake.
Yeah, he doesn't know who Mike Tyson is.
Doesn't know who Mike Tyson is. Just like
he will.
I'm debating as a good father. Like, do I want to show him his hero getting murdered in the ring or not?
I know.
Like right in front of him. Not sure.
Well, you just got to have another hero teed up.
Yeah, well, that's me. Obviously.
No, it's not going to be you.
Yeah, no, your father is your hero, and because I believe that children are our future, and I'll teach him well, and then I'll let him lead the way after that. You guys lead the way by going to iTunes, rating the show 5-star, and leaving a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can walk away. For Derek Wolf, D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the NFL Prediction Show. Good night, everyone.